Hello and welcome to NJ Biz Conversations. I'm your host, Jeff Kanige. My guest today stands at the center of what is going to be the center of the sports world. He is Jim Kirkos, the CEO of the Meadowlands Chamber. Jim, welcome.
Hey, good morning, love. Good to be with you.
Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. What I'm referring to, of course, is the World Cup tournament coming to New Jersey and this region. Less than 100 days now. It's coming right to your backyard. And I'm just curious, just for an update on where you are in terms of your expectations. We've seen estimates that the tournament was going to generate about $3 billion in economic activity, bring in more than a billion visitors. Are those estimates still operative? I mean, are you still operating on those assumptions that that's the kind of impact we're talking about?
Listen, Jeff, I think the economic impact could be very, very significant. I am if as I'm talking to you today, and we're 10 days into the Iran conflict. I don't know that anybody knows the effect of international travel based on that. So
Okay.
while I believe that we'll still have a significant impact and influx of international visitors and certainly domestic visitors from around the country coming to our venues here in the Meadowlands and then perhaps in Boston and Philly as well. I think it could be there. I'm not so sure. I don't have any ability to be certain. So we're being cautiously optimistic,
Okay.
and we're doing every. And I think at the end of the day, our job is to do everything we can to create that impact and to make sure that local communities have the ability to touch and feel the excitement around the games. The games are going to be
Okay.
played one way
Right.
or another, right? The games are going
Right.
to be played, and so we have to proceed positively in that direction.
Okay, well, you hit on exactly why I asked that question, which was because of the geopolitical uncertainty. I mean, even before the attacks on Iran, there was questions surrounding immigration policy and how that would all work out. I know you say you're cautiously optimistic and you can't be certain, but has anything happened on the ground by you that leads you to believe that the original estimates may no longer operate, or are you still hoping for the best at this point?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, Jeff. I
Okay.
think we're hoping for the best. I will tell you that some of our hotels are reporting some softness. 90 plus days out of World Cup. It's not like all of our hotels are already sold out. We know that there's a significant amount of activity with Airbnb
Okay.
and so forth. But I'll feel better when our hotels are at 90 plus percent occupancy throughout the whole region, if not 100% occupancy during the games. I suspect that there's a bunch of last minute travel and or bookings taking place, both on with the conflict in Iran and relative to immigration policy, and that's why our strategy has always been, when we're talking about, listen, I'm a business advocate, and we represent lots of small and mid-sized companies, and we want to make sure that World Cup creates business opportunities for those small businesses. At the end of the day, if I'm thinking about a Main Street business, that owner of that Main Street business doesn't care who comes through the door.
Right.
He or she only cares that the door opens and closes a
Right.
little,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
And so our job is to create a there and to make sure there's activity.
Okay.
And business activity, and that's where our attention is right now. I
Okay.
have no control over that broader, larger impact of what goes on in Washington or what goes on globally. But we can do some things to create some opportunities locally, and that should have our focus.
Okay. So that's the next thing I was going to ask you is what would constitute success at this point? You mentioned one metric, 90 to 100% hotel occupancy. Are there other sort of indicators that you're looking at that you will sort of at the end of the day say, okay, yes, this worked out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, I think if you listen to me going back months and months ago, I said that on July 20th, I want to be able to look back to say that we've done a whole bunch of activities, and we created some opportunities for local residents, local businesses, and the region to feel the pride of hosting this global game, a series of games. And we want to create the business opportunities and fan opportunities And so we created a long time ago, going back as far as 2 years now, we created a concept called Flag Cities, which is our ability to establish some local fan festivals.
Hmm.
And we were doing this in conjunction with the host committee, who at the time was producing the big fan festival at Liberty State Park. And as of this day, you know that
Right.
has been canceled to do other things.
Right.
We're proceeding with our local fan festivals in flag cities, and that's going to be our way of doing. Listen, we only control a little small piece of geography on this, and
A
we
pretty
want to make
important
sure.
piece of geography, though.
Well, we think it's important,
Right.
and I agree with you. But we want to make sure, Jeff, that we are advancing those local community fan activations, because that's the way that we can create a there. And if there's more domestic visitors than there are international visitors, for all those reasons we talked about a minute ago, we want those domestic visitors to come into our communities. So I'm going to get back to your original question. You said,
Okay.
what defines success for us? Success is that we host a series of fan festivals in communities so that the local communities can feel that sense of pride, and they can feel what it is to be a part of a mega event like the World Cup. And we want there to be some business opportunities. We want our communities to be able to showcase themselves, because in this tourism and destination marketing efforts that we do, we know what a great place it is to visit, to work, to play, to shop, to eat, all of those things. And our job is to make sure that anybody that's coming to this region for the first time gets to experience that.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm curious. What did you think of the move to cancel the Fan Fest in Jersey City and instead put on some of these smaller things? I mean, it was one of the first things Governor Sherrill did when she took office, was to sort of shift that around a little bit, and then sort of uh, did it upset the sort of planning that had been going into here? I mean, how did that land where you are?
Well, so it didn't upset what we were doing, because we were always doing our Flag
Okay.
Cities local activations, regardless of what was taking place at Liberty State Park. I suspect that they made those decisions for all the right reasons, relative to the complexity of moving people to that particular site, and perhaps the cost of producing that mega event for 40 days at that particular site. I don't know the inner workings and what that actually, what the cost was, and what the logistics issues were, and I suspect that the host committee will participate in some way, shape, or form in some kind of fan activity, which is still to be determined. But
Right.
we welcome the opportunity to use Flag Cities as a part of that, and perhaps we'll do that. We've made some outreach to the host committee and to the state to say that Flag Cities is going to move on, and if this becomes an opportunity for us to collaborate and create these local festivals that are good for New Jersey, then we want to play our part, because that's always been our intention from the beginning.
Okay. All right. Now, we had a piece not long ago, just a few days ago, about the World of Blue Hotel doing $100 million in renovations to get ready for the World Cup, and I was wondering, how much of that sort of thing are you seeing? Because that's got to be a pretty decent amount of economic activity too, if you have that one hotel spending that much money to get themselves ready. Are you seeing that sort of thing go on at this point?
Well, that's a significant one. Harvey Rosenblatt and the P3 company at World of Blue, and that's a property that's been like a flagpole in the Meadowlands, right across the street from the stadium for 30 years, 40 years.
Right.
And so that's an important property for us. So we're delighted that somebody like P3 and Harvey's company is going to come in and invest a significant amount of money in turning it into a Class A property, because it's really important for us, especially now with American Dream so active and they've come into their own.
Right.
It just creates the Meadowlands and establishes the Meadowlands as an even more important destination. Before we were a side destination to New York City, and now we are quickly becoming a primary destination. And businesses and properties like World of Blue are going to help transform the perception and image of who we are and what we have to offer here in the Meadowlands.
Okay. Now, given where we are, as I mentioned, I mean, you can probably measure it in weeks rather than rather than months at this point before the tournament starts. Can businesses still get involved, or is that train left the station? I mean, anybody watching now, they must know what's going on. But if they haven't done anything at this point, what's your best advice to them?
Listen, I think there's some lessons here. You know, the leveraging the World Cup. I think it's a matter of expectations, right? Not and I said this back in Super Bowl too, Jeff. You know, like when Super Bowl was announced, it was coming to town. Everybody thought that money was just going to flock, the doors were going to open, and everybody was going to make a boatload of money in a short period of time. That's just not what happens, right? And I tell all of our members when we hold information sessions, and we've held many, and we will continue to hold them, to let businesses know that this is a time to become better at social media, to become better at marketing, to become better at artificial intelligence, to help advance your business.
Hmm.
Use the World Cup coming to town to become smarter about how to promote your goods and services. And then if we do that because World Cup is in town, we'll be all better businesses after World Cup is over. And so, is there opportunities for businesses? That's part of my job. My job is to help promote the greater Meadowlands region so that there are opportunities. And when those opportunities come to us, we filter them out to our members. So we had one the other day, a company called and said they were looking to host a party at a restaurant. They wanted to buy out a restaurant for a period of time. Okay, great. We gave them a whole bunch of options and we let them explore those options and deal with that. And so we become a conduit of that information and those requests.
Okay. And is that because I was going to ask you, I've heard you say that before, that about the lessons you learned from the Super Bowl and what you needed to do differently. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about? That it's getting businesses to be more proactive and to for lack of a better word, to publicize themselves better than they did last time? Or what else is going on along those lines?
No, you hit that right. I mean, I've been blunt and frank about saying this, not only with the businesses, but with us too as an organization. You know, we didn't know what to expect. We sat back and we waited for the business to come. And I said that will never happen again. I won't let that happen as long as I'm leading the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce. We decided that we were going to be proactive and we were going to go out there and create some things. And that's why one of the reasons we developed even the Flag Cities concept was because I didn't want to wait for business to not come to us. I
Hmm.
wanted to create business opportunities so it came to us, right? And that's
Right.
the concept behind that. And if we all do that a little bit, right? If even communities that are not part of Flag Cities, if they're doing something, fantastic. The more people that do that and we create it there, it creates business opportunities for local businesses and domestic travelers and hopefully international travelers to come and spend some of their discretionary dollars with us. Our job is to keep all those discretionary dollars on the west side of the Hudson River.
Okay. All right. Now, one of the lessons I think that a lot of folks learned from the Super Bowl was that it's not easy to move people in and out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. You've got a lot of people, not just one day, but for several days now. Are you confident that the transportation infrastructure is in place to get people in and out, to back from their hotels to the games and back again, and to all of those businesses that want to participate?
Listen, I think the infrastructure is in place. It really becomes part of the planning. What will happen on game days? And by the way, the plans will be different depending on the times of the day. There are some
Yeah.
games that are 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's some
Right.
games that are 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
If the game is at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night and it's after rush hour, it becomes a different transportation issue,
Sure.
right? Or mobility issue. And here's what I can tell you. While I don't know all the exact plans, and we're bringing in on April 9th Chris Kaluri and some of the folks that have been doing the planning and the folks at the World Cup host committee, New York, New Jersey host committee on transportation. We're going to bring them in to talk more about this. But I can tell you this: all the right people are having the discussions, and I'm pretty confident that they will come up with the right kinds of plans and communicate those plans in time for us to be able to move it. Listen, you can only put so many people in the stadium, right? It holds
Right.
80. Let's call it 80,000 people, and so it's 8 times we have to do that.
Right.
The big factor, Jeff, will be how many additional people come to the region that are not necessarily going to the game, and how will we get those people around? That infrastructure is in place. moving people around the region, bus and train and shuttles and ride share, that infrastructure is relatively in place.
Okay.
Game day plans are still to be announced, but I'm confident that all the right people are in the rooms having very significant discussions.
Okay. Now, looking beyond the World Cup, I'm curious as to how you think the after effects will play out for the region. Do you expect that the kind of economic gains that you're seeing now will be lasting? That, I mean, we mentioned some of the World of Blue hotel and renovations. How much do you expect this to go on beyond when the games are over?
Listen, I'm the one that started talking about the economic impact for the region started when FIFA announced that we were going to be a venue,
Hmm.
and especially that we were going to host the final, and so the economic impact started then and will last long after July 19th, and that's because we have the opportunity to showcase that so many people of those travelers that will come to this region are coming here for the first time, and those are the people that will be able to showcase
Okay.
the cool things that they're here. I mean, just
Hmm.
think about it. At Super Bowl, American Dream wasn't open,
Right.
and now American Dream is open, and American Dream is this unbelievable retail and entertainment facility now. And so fans coming to the game are going to have lots of new experiences at lots of places. Like World of Blue and others around the region, and so we're a better destination than we were back at Super Bowl, and all of those things will help drive people back here after for a second or third time.
Okay. And speaking of facilities, I mean, you've been an advocate for turning the old arena into a convention center. A, is that still something you're interested in? And B, does this sort of thing help move that along a little bit?
Yeah, it certainly does. And listen, if I had it my way, that convention center would have been built in time for a World Cup.
Right,
And
right.
but things move slow in New Jersey. But we are in the middle of a scoping assessment that was funded by the Murphy administration, and we will be presenting the Sherrill administration with an elevated feasibility study of all the ways and what this place could look like. And yes, it's our biggest advocacy issue. We
Okay.
believe that facility, which will have a $30 billion economic impact over 30 years, one of the biggest economic drivers for the North Jersey region since the sports complex was established back in the 70s.
Okay. And just in general, I'm curious about your assessment of the strength of the economy in the region. How are you looking? Again, beyond the World Cup and into the future. What does the region look like to you these days?
Yeah, right now our members are reporting lots of activity.
Okay.
Listen, there's concern as to what's going on in the world, but the concern is really national, and what happens with the economy due to the war and the price of energy and the price of fuel, and so forth. So there's those kinds of cautiousness things. But business activity is up. We're having a large amounts of people attend our events, and I always ask the questions: What's troubling you? Please tell me what's going on in your world.
Mhm.
What's hampering your business? And we're not seeing a lack of business opportunities for those companies. Just maybe being cautious about what's going on in the world.
Okay. And finally, before I let you go, what's going on? What's next for your organization? You mentioned the April 19th discussion about transportation. You mentioned some other events. What should people be looking for in the coming weeks from you folks?
So this year, like most of our years, taken off right through the summer with World Cup. But we're still a business organization, and many of our members have nothing to do with World Cup. So we have to continue to be that business advocate on all those issues. We're quite frankly, we're really delighted by Governor Sherrill's initial stance on making New Jersey business friendly and to operate efficiently and getting around the regulatory burdens and so forth. So we will continue to work with her administration. I really appreciate her leadership style right now, and I think there's a real optimism in the business world that she is intended on making some changes. the way business is done, the way government operates,
Hmm.
so we're really optimistic about that. So our focus will be working with our partner organizations, the New Jersey Chamber, NJBIA, and other regional chambers, to be that business advocate. We want to help the Sherrill administration figure these things out. Right?
Okay.
We want to do our part and help them make those systemic changes that could lead to a strong economic output.
Okay, very good. That's a good place to leave it. Jim Kirkos, CEO of Meadowlands Chamber. I hope you come back and give us an update, and maybe afterward we'll talk about it and see how it all went.
All right, you guys are my pleasure. I'll always come back.
Okay, thanks again, and thank you for watching. Until
Thank
next
you,
time,
Jeff.
stay safe, everyone.